In the chill of a basement, where the only light came from a single, flickering bulb, Sarah's eyes fluttered open to a nightmare. Her wrists were bound by chains that bit into her flesh, cold and unyielding. The air was thick with the scent of mold and something more sinister, perhaps the residue of fear from others who had suffered in this same darkness. She tried to scream, but her throat was dry, her voice a mere croak. Panic surged through her as she realized she was alone, or at least she hoped she was. The walls were lined with tools, not of a craftsman, but of someone with darker intentions, rusted knives, pliers, and an array of sharp implements that glinted menacingly with each pulse of light. Sarah tugged at the chains, her wrists burning, but the metal only clinked mockingly against the concrete floor. Her mind raced, trying to piece together how she ended up here. The last memory was of leaving work late, the street unusually quiet, a figure in the shadows. Hours might have passed, or perhaps just minutes, when she heard it. The creak of a door at the top of the stairs, followed by heavy, deliberate footsteps descending into her personal hell. Her heart pounded in her chest like a drum of war. The figure that emerged was cloaked in darkness, but his eyes shone with a cold, predatory gleam. "Who are you? Why am I here?" Her voice trembled, barely escaping her lips. The man, if he could be called that, didn't answer. Instead, he approached with a slow, menacing gait, dragging something metallic that scraped against each step. He stopped just out of the light's reach, his face still hidden, but his intentions were clear by the way he caressed the handle of a long, serrated blade. Sarah's mind screamed for survival. She needed a plan, something, anything. She noticed a loose brick near her foot, dislodged perhaps from previous struggles, or perhaps intentionally left as a cruel jest. With every ounce of strength, she maneuvered her foot, ignoring the pain, and managed to kick the brick closer. As her captor leaned down to inspect her more closely, Sarah's hand darted forward, grabbing the brick. She swung with all her might, the brick connecting with his skull. A sickening crunch, followed by a heavy thud as he collapsed. Her breathing was ragged, adrenaline coursing through her veins. She fumbled with the keys now scattered from his belt, her hands shaking uncontrollably. The third key fit, and the chains fell away, clattering to the ground. But freedom was not immediate. The door at the top of the stairs was locked from the outside. Heart racing, Sarah searched the man, finding another set of keys. One by one she tried them, each click of the wrong key echoing like the beat of a death knell. Finally the door gave way. She stepped into a dimly lit hallway, the house eerily silent except for the ticking of an unseen clock. Every shadow seemed to move, every creak of the old wood suggested pursuit. She found her way to the front door, but it was barred with heavy chains. Sarah's mind raced. She remembered seeing a window in the basement, frosted and high, but possibly unbarred. She retraced her steps, now a hunted animal in her own escape. Back in the basement she found the window, pushed it with all her force. It gave, slowly, painfully, until she could squeeze through the glass cutting into her skin. Outside the night was cold, the moon hidden behind clouds, offering no light for her escape. She ran, not knowing where, just away from that house of horrors. Her feet pounded the earth, her breath ragged, every shadow a potential threat. Was she truly free, or was this just the beginning of a different kind of nightmare? The story of her escape was one of survival, but it left unanswered questions. Who was her captor? Why was she chosen? And most chillingly, would he come for her again? The horror wasn't just in the basement. It followed her into the night, into the unknown, leaving readers to wonder if Sarah would ever truly escape her nightmare.